Welcome back, everybody, to the Baltimore Orioles franchise here on MLB The Show 21. Today we are going to conclude the rest of the regular season here in year number 5, but we're going to do it a little bit different than normal. We've already clinched the AL East, and at this point in the year we are playing for seeding. The race for the 1 seed in the American League is very close, with the Angels and Astros both right on our tails. But rather than doing a normal episode where we play 2 games and just sim through the rest of the year, I've decided to do something a little bit different and a little bit more special. Of course, we have 2 superstars on our team in Louis St. John and Lenny Lane, who are the 2 favorites for the American League MVP award. They have been neck and neck all season long, both very deserving. So what I've decided to do is, rather than focus on the entire team this episode, just focus on those 2. We have 15 games left in the year, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to simulate 5 games. I'm going to player lock 5 games with Lenny Lane, which will be throughout the video, and I'm going to player lock 5 different games with Louis St. John, which will also be throughout the video. So we're going to hop into a total of 10 games today. Yes, 10. That is a lot. So grab your popcorn right now, because it is going to be a fun end of a regular season as we gear towards the playoffs and figure out who's going to win the MVP. Currently, Louis St. John is in first place, but again, those 2 have been neck and neck all year. So first things first, our opening series is against the Chicago White Sox, and how I've decided to do it is, if there's a lefty pitcher, I'm probably going to use Louis St. John. If it's a righty, I'm going to use Lenny Lane. So this first game, for example, I'm pretty sure Dylan Cease is pitching. He is a righty, so we are going to use Lenny Lane for this first player lock game. I think in each of the final 5 series of the season, the first game I use her Lane, and then the next one I would use her St. John. I hope all that makes sense. You'll be able to figure out as this video goes along. So Lenny Lane has an early opportunity here. We're already up 1-0 in the bottom of the first inning with an RBI double from Adley Rutschman, which drove in Shed Long. And now Lenny Lane, nearing the 50 home run mark, is trying to do some damage. On the 0-1 count, grounds it to third. Not overly exciting. We're going to show every at-bat from the games we play because, well, it's only going to be 4 or 5 at-bats per game. So, yes, there's going to be some routine outs as we go to the bottom of the third. 2-1 your score. Lenny Lane takes a big swing and a miss on the high fastball. So, not a great start here for Lenny Lane. 0 for 2. As we go to the bottom of the fourth, it looks like there's been a lot of offense the past couple of innings. The White Sox are now winning as Lenny Lane with a high fly ball, but not very deep. Doesn't even get anywhere close to past the infield as Andrew Vaughn makes the play. So the Orioles offense has been good. They're now at 7 runs. But Lenny Lane individually has had a quiet game. He is 0 for 3. But he's going to change that right here. Home run number 50 on the season for Lenny Lane. A 2-run blast in right field, 379 feet, as the Baltimore Orioles will extend the lead. That's a 2-run homer for Lenny Lane, and it is now 9-5 as he drives in himself along with Adley Rutschman. Great work there by Lenny Lane. It's now 11-5 here in the 7th as the lefty Brad Hand gets Lenny to strike out, and that's pretty much how the rest of this game would go. The Orioles would get the win. Lenny Lane only goes 1 for 5, but it is off of a 2-run home run. So this is now Game 3 of the White Sox series. I simulated Game 2, and now that brings us to the 3rd game in which Alex Wood is pitching for the White Sox. He is a lefty, so that's why we are going to use our Louis St. John, who sits at 52 home runs on the season. 2-0 pitch, hits this ball high and deep into center field, and that baby's out of here. So both Lenny Lane and Louis St. John with some dingers in this Chicago series. Louis St. John now with 53 home runs on the season, continuing to get those numbers up. He is still the slight favorite to win the award over Lenny Lane, although, again, things are certainly going to change throughout these final few series. In Louis St. John's next at-bat, he grounds into a double play. Not great there, and overall there has not been much offense throughout this game. The Orioles would make some noise now, leading 4-1. Louis St. John with a blast off on the very first pitch of the at-bat, and he's going to do some push-ups. What a celebration here from Louis St. John. He's had some exciting ones this year, some impressive bat flips. In the last episode, he was using the baseball bat like a horse, and he was riding it. Now he's doing push-ups. That is 54 home runs on the season for Louis St. John. Lenny Lang looks happy to give him that fist bump, but I think inside, Lang has to be a little bit salty that Louis St. John is crushing baseballs out of the yard. Just a beautiful swing there, and the celebration, per usual with LSJ, top-notch as we get another look. I'm surprised he has not been fined or suspended by the major leagues yet. Usually Rob Manfred would be against players having any form of fun, but I guess those rules don't apply to Louis St. John because he's having a little too much fun right now. Good form on those push-ups. Just one more beautiful look at him. He was staring down the pitcher, too, when he was doing them. So, certainly exciting there. So, now we go to Louis St. John's next at-bat. 2 home runs already in this game. Just absolutely dominating Alex Wood. Now, unfortunately for St. John, Alex Wood is not in the game anymore. It's Merrill Kelly as the Orioles lead this one 5-2. 1-2 count. Runner on third. This one is going to be blooped over to second base, and it will be caught to end the inning. Unfortunately, St. John would not get another at-bat, but it really would not matter because the Orioles would still get the win. Baltimore ends up winning a late-season series here against the Chicago White Sox, which is always nice when we are playing for seeding, even if the White Sox aren't really a playoff team. 5-2 ends up being the final. There was no more scoring. Big game there for St. John. He goes 2 for 4 with a pair of dingers. So we're going to play in games 2 and 3 in the Toronto series. None of these pitchers are left-handed, so we're going to have to use a righty with St. John, which is fine. His numbers against righties are still really good. So this is game 2 of a 3-game series in Toronto. I decided not to do the game where Walker Buehler was pitching for the Blue Jays since we just faced him in the last episode. So instead it'll be Jack Flaherty and Alek Manoah. As we go to the first inning, Lenny Lang has had a battle with Flaherty, and it ends up in a walk. I think that at bat was like 8 or 9 pitchers or something. Lenny Lang showing off those top-tier plate skills, and now it's up to Louis St. John to try and drive him in. As St. John hits that one nicely into right field, but it will be caught. So no going there for Ling and the offense as we would continue to simulate forward to Ling's second at-bat. Toronto leads 2-0 here in the top of the third inning. Runner on second, 1 out as Lenny Lang hits his ball high. Pretty deep into center field. Back at the track. See ya! A 2-run shot for Lenny Lang, and this game is tied at 2. There have been 4 home runs in this episode. If you had told me through the 10 games we're going to play combined that the 2 hitters would hit 4 home runs, I would be happy with that. But they've combined for 4 home runs in the first 2 and like a quarter games. So St. John and Lenny Lang are really battling for this MVP. Another full count pitch, another long at bat from Lenny Lang. He's going to try to get home run number 2 on the day, but that's not going to happen. It's a fly out to right center, but still a good at bat. Another like 8 or 9 pitch AB there. So Lenny Lang is making Jack Flaherty work as we go to the 7th. Tariq Skubal is in for Toronto as Lenny Lang on a 2-1 count lofts this one into the shallow infield. It will be caught. So nothing going there for Lenny on that at bat. Still a 5-2 game. The Orioles with a nice, comfortable lead here. And going into the 9th inning, the game remains unchanged. 5-2. Lenny Lang still facing off against Skubal. Gets another base hit to go down. It's a single. Hit that one weakly into right field, but hey, a base hit is a base hit, especially against a lefty. So now Ryan Mountcastle is up. The previous 2 batters weren't able to get anything going, so maybe Mountcastle will as he hits this one into left field. So after Lenny Lang got the single, the Blue Jays would retire the rest of the lineup as we would simulate out the rest of the game. Hopefully no funny business from the bullpen. And that's exactly what would happen. The Orioles would get the win here. Always good to beat our rivals, Toronto, especially considering, the Blue Jays and all the wins they can get with them fighting for a playoff spot. Before I get into the final game of the series, I do briefly want to touch on the minor leagues. The AA team did not make the playoffs, but the AAA team did. We're probably not going to play any of these games, but we will follow along as the postseason goes along. But right now, our focus is on the Major League team, and it's on Louis St. John in this game as we have the rubber match. Game 3 of this 3-game set, our final regular season series against Toronto. Who knows? Maybe we'll see them in the playoffs. As Louis St. John is up here in the first inning. Runner on second against Alek Manoah. First pitch swinging into right field, but it will be caught. Louis St. John is obviously still very good against righties, but it's more fun to use him against lefties. That's why I really want to mainly use him there. Top of the 4th inning. Count is 2-2. What a catch by Kepler! That probably saved a run, and it definitely saved an extra base hit from Louis St. John. Wow. Into the 6th inning. Manoah pitching a shutout. St. John again swinging on the first pitch. And Manoah's shutout might be dead. This looks like a double for Lewis St. John. The runner is going to hold up at third, and with only one out, that's fine. No need to risk it. We'll see if Manoah can get out of this jam, as Lewis St. John is now on a 10-game hitting streak. So runners are in scoring position. A huge opportunity here for Nick Castellanos to do some damage and get the Orioles finally on the board. He strikes out. Big K for Alek Manoah. And now it will be Ryan Mountcastle who has to drive these runners in. Count is 0-1. Runners in scoring position, 2 away. Mountcastle loops this one over to third, caught by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. So a big double from Lewis St. John, but unfortunately it does not lead to any runs, and the shutout is still intact for Alek Manoah. I would imagine St. John probably gets one more at bat, and indeed here in the 8th inning, facing off against Trent Thornton, as St. John grounds out to short. Good hustle, but that throw is going to be in time. So, interestingly enough, we would make kind of a comeback. And look at this. We're down by 2. There's a runner on. Top of the 9th inning. 2 outs. So, Lewis St. John is the tying run, and it has to get on base for the Orioles to stay alive. Count is 2-1. The pitch from Fairbanks. St. John's just looking. He has not swung at any pitch yet in this at-bat, waiting for the right one, as the count is now 2-2. We'll see if this is the pitch that St. John likes, and it is, but he swings and misses. The Toronto Blue Jays win the series, and they finish Game 3 of said series by the score of 4-2. Not a great performance here for Lewis St. John. He only recorded 1 hit. I believe he went 1 for 5 in total with a double. So not his best outing, but overall, good to see him get that extra base hit as we continue to wind down here in the season with only 3 more series left. On the road against the White Sox, home against Tampa Bay, and home against Boston. So we're going to hop into the 2nd and 4th game. I wanted to face off against different pitchers than the first series against Chicago that we played earlier today, and Marco Gonzalez is a lefty. So for Lewis St. John purposes, we still have another lefty we can face. So here is the 2nd game of the series against Chicago. Of course, we will be using Big Ding Lenny Lang in this one. I believe St. John is still the front runner for MVP, but again, both of them have been playing really well in this episode. And already, Lenny Lang gets a big opportunity here in the top of the 1st inning with a pair of runners on the corners and nobody out. So we'll see if he can capitalize with this great opportunity. Count is 1-2. Pitch from Fagalde as it's a grounder to short. Looks like it'll be a double play, but the runner does score. I believe that is Shenlong. So it's not a totally bad at bat because the Orioles do drive in a run, but I guess it could have been better too. Top of the 3rd inning now, 2-0 your score, as Lenny Lang nearly rips the pitcher's head off for a, looks like 2-out double. That one was on the ground for a while, but neither the left or center fielder was able to get to it quick enough. So it will be a double for the speedster. I obviously say that sarcastically. He is like 3 speed. We'll see if Lewis St. John can drive them in here. The 0-2 pitch. Got him looking for strike 3. So, unfortunately, Lenny Lang does not score in this one. And we go to the 5th inning. 3-1 now your score. Baltimore still remains up by 2. First pitch of the at-bat. Lang swings at the outside fastball into right field. And it will be caught. So Lenny Lang is currently 1 for 3 of the double. Not bad, but not, like, insane either. Just pretty good. Into the 8th inning, he's going to draw a walk. That was a full count pitch against Brad Hand. Had to check his swing, even though that pitch was not close to the strike zone. So Lang would advance to 3rd over the next 2 at-bats. So now there's 2 outs. Lang is 90 feet away from home for Mountcastle, who grounds this one to 2nd. The play is made, and unfortunately Lenny Lang does not score. So we go into the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll see if we hold on, and we don't. The White Sox get the victory here, and it looks like our bullpen blew it. Julian Starnes allowed 4 earned runs in the bottom of the 8th inning to lead Chicago to a 6-3 win. Lenny Lang goes 1 for 3 of the double and a walk, so not great, but not awful either, as this is the 4th game of the series. I believe the only one the Orioles have won so far was Game 3. Now Baltimore sits at 99 wins on the year, looking for win number 100. I believe this would be the first time in the series if the Orioles do reach triple-digit wins, as here's Lewis St. John, runner on first, nobody out, 3-2 pitch. They're going to call him out on the check swing. Big strikeout there from the former Mariner, Marco Gonzalez, as we go to the top of the 3rd. One away here for St. John. The White Sox are up big, 3-0. St. John gets a hanging pitch up in the zone to start the at-bat, but it's a grounder to short. And it looks like the Orioles lineup as a whole really is not getting a whole lot going as we now enter the 5th inning. 1-0 count, runners on first and second. A big opportunity here for St. John, who flies this one high and deep, and a right, it's caught. That one looked like it wasn't going to be gone, but it kept on going. So it looked like there was a chance, but I guess not. Into the 8th inning now, remains 3-0. St. John draws a walk. Not going to swing at a pitch above his head, or at least I would hope not. So with nobody out, Louis St. John is now on base. And with the meat of the order up, starting with Lenny Lane, maybe that can lead to some damage. Or maybe it can lead to a double play. Yeah, the offense is just not showing up here whatsoever. I assume we're probably not going to hold on, and indeed we don't. A big series win for the White Sox to take 3 of 4 at their home. Louis St. John went 0 for 3 with a walk, so not terrible, but not great. So now we're down to our final 6 games. 3 against the Rays, 3 against Boston. And let's just take a look at the situation currently. So we're 99-57, which is a game ahead of the Houston Astros. So we're still the 1 seed, but not by much. Unfortunately, the AAA team ended up losing their playoff series in 5 games, so they are now eliminated, and now officially all focus is on the big league team. We're going to play games 2 and 3 of the Tampa Bay series. We would lose game 1. We are really not playing well the past week or so, and we are in legitimate danger of giving up that number 1 seed to the Houston Astros, who have had a great month of September. So here's Lenny Lane, bottom of the 1st inning. Orioles lead 1-0 after a solo homer by Adley Rutschman as he goes down looking on the changeup from Edward Cabrera. I know he is a nasty cutter, so we'll see if he uses that today as we go to the 3rd inning. 2-0 score. Lenny Lane goes oppo-poppo with the bat flip. 2-run homer for Lenny Lane, and the Orioles will make it a 4-0 game. Home run number 54 on the season. When would Lenny Lane get his next at-bat? It would actually be in the same inning. The offense has exploded. It's now 10-0. A new pitcher is in the game. It's Shane Baz. As with 2 away, Lane grounds out to second to finally end the inning. The lineup scored 8 runs. Started with a 2-run shot by Lenny Lane. I believe a total of 11 batters got to hit that inning. So now we go to the 6th inning. It's 11-0 as Lenny Lane hits this one in the left field. I don't know why the shortstop has to be the one to make that grab, but he does, tracking that ball into deep left field. I know there was the shift, but still. Now into the bottom of the 8th inning. The Rays offense has gotten a little bit going, but they're still down by 8 as Ling is going to fly out to center. So it's an 8-run lead going into the 9th inning. I assume the bullpen probably isn't going to blow it, even if they have had a rough past couple of innings. They certainly should not allow 8 runs against a young and pretty bad Tampa Bay Rays lineup, and that's what's going to happen. The Orioles do get the win. I believe 11-3 does end up being the final score. Only 1 hit for Lenny Lane today, but it is a 2-run homer. Look at Adley Rutschman. He went deep 3 times. And then Louis St. John as well. 3 for 3 with a home run, a double, an RBI, and he scored twice. So even with Lenny Lane hitting the home run, I guess Louis St. John helped his MVP case out more in that game than Lenny. So now into the final game of the series. There is a lefty, JoJo Romero, starting for Tampa Bay. Louis St. John up here in the 1st inning, coming off his big game yesterday, as he's going to start this one with a fly out to second. So it doesn't look like he's going to be perfect, unlike the previous game. Into the 4th inning, the offense has not gotten a whole lot going, as it's 1-0 Tampa Bay. Louis St. John does get a single, so maybe this will open some things up. Only 1 out, with Lenny Lane due up here for Baltimore. Who knows? Ling would advance St. John to second as Nick Castellanos is now up. Lines it to short. Nice grab by Wander Franco. Probably preventing a run there because we know Louis St. John is quite fast. Now into the bottom of the 7th. It's still 1-0. Neither offense has done much of anything as St. John grounds to third. What a great throw there at the hot corner by Tampa Bay. So the Orioles would score a run to tie the game. And that brings us to the bottom of the 9th inning. 1-1 score. Louis St. John leads off against a former Oriole, or a former member of the Orioles organization, Miguel Figueroa. I imagine at some point these two were probably teammates in AA or AAA, although Louis St. John was really not in AAA for very long, as he does get the infield single. The third baseman bobbles it. So a winning run is now on base with nobody out. This is a great opportunity to steal second, and the manager clearly agrees. Luis St. John obviously has some wheels. Miguel Figueroa realizes that, hey, we should watch out for his speed. So he tries to pick him off at first. Not going to happen. The manager still suggests that Luis St. John would steal. What's Figueroa going to do here? He's going to try to pick him off, but St. John didn't realize it. And he is now in a pickle. Luis St. John, what are you doing? He is out at first. A wasted opportunity there from LSJ. Now we need to see if the offense can come through. It won't happen in the 9th inning. Will it happen in the extra innings? The answer is yes. Xavier Bowman with a walk-off double. So the Orioles do get the win. Nonetheless, 2-1 is your final. A good way to end the series. A solid performance for Luis St. John as he goes 2 for 4 with a pair of singles and that base running blunder. So with 3 games to go, we are 101-58 with 3 home games against the Boston Red Sox. As you'll see here, the Astros are still only 1 game behind us at 159. So this 1 seed is far from clinched, but we do have the upper hand slightly. Houston is a 3-game series against Detroit, who has already won the AL Central. So they have a really tough matchup, whereas we don't really with Boston. I do want to check in on the MVP race, and currently Luis St. John remains in first, but it remains neck and neck. So we're going to use our Lenny Lang for Game 2 of this series. We lost Game 1, and then we're going to use our Luis St. John for Game 3. In Game 1, Lenny Lang went 0 for 3 for a walk, and Luis St. John did not play. So I guess that helps out St. John. The Astros would win Game 1 of their series. So both us and Houston are 101-59 with 2 games to go. The Orioles do have the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Astros as they beat them in 5 of the 6 games that they played against each other this season. So if the 2 teams finish with the same record for seeding, there will not be a Game 163. Rather, Baltimore will just get the 1 seed. So this will be the final game we player lock with Lenny Lang. He starts it off with a single. That's a good start. With Lang being the underdog in the MVP race, he obviously needs as good of a final 2 games as he can get. Now we have runners on first and second. Luis St. John would also draw a walk. Nicholas Castellanos strikes out, so the Orioles don't get anything going there. As you can see, the Red Sox are currently up 2-0. They scored 2 in the top of the first inning. They would add another one to make it 3-0 as we are now in the 4th inning. Nick Pivetta on the bump. I guess Syndergaard was taken out early. I don't really know why, as Lang will weakly fly out to left. Easily caught for the first out of the inning. So far, our offense is not getting a whole lot going. In the 6th inning, it remains 3-0. Lenny Lang is going to chop this one to second. Not a great start for Lenny Lang. 1 for 3 with a base hit, but he hasn't produced. The offense hasn't produced, but now it's starting to come along a little bit. 3-2 in the bottom of the 8th inning as Lang hits this ball high, deep, out of here. 2-run homer from Lenny Lang. That'll put the Orioles ahead. Clutch hitting for Lang, his 55th home run of the year, which ties Luis St. John for the home run crown. Having a clutch home run like that towards the end of the season in a very important game has to be a loud statement for the MVP voters. It would unfortunately not win the game. We have to go to the bottom of the 10th inning. Lenny Lang is going to lead it off. Game tied at 4. Runner on second with the extra innings rule. Yaizo Campos is on the mound for Boston as Lang is going to hit this one high and deep in the right field, and it is caught. But the runner will tag up to third. That was the first out of the inning. So as long as this ball is in play and it's not like a weak fly out to the infield, we should be fine. And, well, we get a single. Nick Castellanos with a walk-off base hit. So the Orioles do get the win here in dramatic fashion. Lenny Lang goes 2 for 5 with that huge home run in the bottom of the 8th inning. So there you go. A big win there for Baltimore as we get to the final game of the season. The Astros also won their second game against Detroit, so we remain tied. So the situation is, if we win or the Astros lose, we're good. If we do the same thing that the Astros do, we're good. The only thing that cannot happen is us lose and Houston win. Luis St. John remains in first place for the MVP, so we are going to player lock with him for this final game and see if he can finish off the job over his teammate, and we'll see if Baltimore can finish off the job when it comes to clinching the #1 seed in the American League for a second straight season. Now, the #1 seed is not end-all be-all. Remember, last year, the Orioles lost in the first round. So Luis St. John is up here at the bottom of the inning as he hits this one into right field. That one is awfully deep, but it is caught at the wall. Good grab there for Boston. We are going to Skip forward now is it's 1-0 Red Sox in the bottom of the third inning. Runner out, 2 away here for St. John. First pitch of the AB. Singles it into right field. Look at the bottom of your screen, though. The Astros game is in the first inning, and they are up on Detroit 3-0. So assuming Houston wins that game, that means we need to win this one for the number 1 seed. Lenny Lang is now up. He has a big opportunity to drive in these runs, maybe help his MVP case, but unfortunately, he will just fly out, and it will be caught by Whit Merrifield. So it remains 1-0. Hopefully the offense can continue to come through for us, as it does look like we do need to win this game. And as you would see, the offense is coming through. It's now 3-1. And Louis St. John is going to help contribute. He gets his second base hit of the game. These base hits are continuing to up his batting average, which certainly does not hurt in the MVP race. St. John is 5th in the American League, hitting .315. For his style of play, hitting .315 is so impressive, as Castellanos deflects that one off the pitcher. St. John's doing a little funny business, and he would have another base-running blunder thrown out by the catcher. Not really what you want to see there. The Orioles could have had runners on the corners with 1 out, but instead that does not happen. In at the bottom of the 7th. Still a 3-1 game. This will probably be St. John's final at-bat of the regular season, and it's another single. I don't know why the center fielder didn't hustle over to get it. I believe that's Jason Dominguez. And our manager wants to steal the base. Again, we know Louis St. John can run. He's just had some trouble running today. The pitcher, Bilac, will not try to pick him off. St. John is safe at second. So now the Orioles have a runner in scoring position and a great opportunity to score Louis St. John and possibly ice the game. Castellanos is up. 1-1 count. St. John now at third, as this one is crushed in the left center field. And you know why Louis St. John is already running? Because he knew that was gone. 2-run shot for Castellanos, number 36 for him on the year. And it is a 5-1 game. This one appears to be over, and it is. The Orioles win it. 5-2 is your final. Baltimore clinches for 1 seed. Louis St. John goes 3 for 4 for run. He outperforms Lenny Lang, so you would have to assume that will win him the MVP. The Astros did win their game, but it doesn't matter. We officially clinch the top seed in the conference, and we will face off against the winner of the wild card game, which will be between the Yankees and the Angels. But before we figure out who we're playing, let's finalize this MVP discussion. Lenny Lang and Louis St. John, both of whom have had extraordinary seasons. Let me know who you think deserves it in the comments. I don't think you could go wrong either way. Both of these players have been absolutely fantastic. But now it's time for the moment of truth. As you can see, we do have a lot of league leaders, both pitching and hitting. Louis St. John and Lenny Lang pretty much led in every hitting category for what it's worth. They tied for home runs, so neither of them wins the home run crown and ends up being a tie at 55. But here we go, the moment of truth. The MVP winner is Louis St. John. I know it's not all that surprising. We kind of expected it, but it is official. And of the two, if I had to pick, I think Louis St. John is the one who deserves it slightly more. I know in a vacuum, Lenny Lang's offensive stats are a little bit more impressive, but he was a DH all year. Louis St. John had to play defense, and although he's not a great defender, he still had to play defense, which has to equate for some value. So now it's the Yankees and the Angels. The Yankees barely made it in the wild card game. 1 spot over Toronto and Minnesota, as we've got a close one here. 3-2 in the 6th inning. Luis Castillo and Daily Garcia are the starters. Both of them pitched all right. Not great, but not awful. The Yankees had Garcia go 7. Now into the top of the 9th inning. 4-2 Angels lead. Aaron Sledgers is in for the save, and he retires the side. So it's the Angels who win the wild card game by the final score of 4-2. I did not really want to play the Angels because they're really good. Even though they're a wild card team, they won 99 games. They had the 3rd best record in baseball, only behind us and Houston. So this is getting the 1 seed is a blessing because the playoffs will run through Baltimore. We have home field advantage through every playoff series, but we have to play the 3rd best team in the league. Whereas the Astros only have to play Detroit, who's good, but they're not as good as the Angels. So even though Houston doesn't get a 1 seed, they're not really complaining. But if nothing else, this first series is going to be really interesting because it's 2 really, really good teams. I could see it going either way. We have to have a sour taste in our mouths from being one and done last year in the playoffs. And we've got to make some noise. Next episode, we will kick off the ALDS against the Angels. I hope you guys are ready. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe. Peace out.